This is She Goes Beyond, and I'm your host, Victoria Freitas. Here we're dedicated to changing the status quo and building a powerful community of women who can do it all. Who says you only have to be one thing? So grab your rod or your bow and tune in to the stories of women who love the same things that you do. You never know, you might just meet your next best friend. Buckle up. This episode, I get down and dirty with the one and only Leah Andersen. Leah opens up and shares with us her journey through social media as a beautiful blonde who gets constantly ripped down by just being her authentic self. We talk all about her 2025 planned hunts, share stories that will make your heart happy, and bond over not understanding baseball. Leah gives advice on how to block out the haters and push forward by just being you. Ladies, don't ever forget why you started. Let's jump in. All right, Leah Andersen, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. I'm very excited. This is my first podcast.
Yeah.
I've listened to the majority of your podcasts now, and you've had some super amazing girls, so I'm really honored to have asked to be here. And yeah, I'm excited to talk about everything that's been going on, and the good, the bad, the ugly, and the beautiful. And
yeah, we're gonna get a little juicy, which is kind of fun.
Super juicy.
Honestly, since you and I have talked, have you ever heard of Call Her Daddy?
Yes.
I literally was thinking, I'm like, I feel like this needs to be like a Backwoods, like Call Her Daddy kind of deal.
Yeah, there's some tea. So.
Yeah, I'm excited, just to kind of get to know you a little bit better and kind of clear the air maybe a little bit. I mean, I don't think like most people listening to this have any judgment, but
I mean, I'd hope not.
Right.
People are definitely nowadays super quick to judge. Like if they knew me and knew what people said about me, they would. Everyone gathers their opinion so quickly, but if like they actually deep down got to know me, just like you have, like you reached out to me, and I feel like we clicked like instantly. Like if people actually took the time to like talk to me, and I feel like they would regret what they've said. So.
Yeah. Let's kind of get into that. So. I mean, I was going to take it slow.
Never take it slow.
Let's just jump in. So you had a really challenging like social media presence. Like you can just tell us about it, but like what you joined and then you got big and then people just started saying you were fake and like the things that you were like showing that you were catching. Like you pull up a big fish and they'd be like, no, that's not real.
It's fake, it's mounted. Like, oh, your boyfriend caught that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Yeah. So I mean, I started posting some of my stuff when I was 16. I've been doing the outdoor stuff my whole life, but yeah, like really trying to get into social media since I was 16, kind of just posting here and there. But within the past like year, I would say like my name, I guess, has really gotten big. I've gained over 40,000 followers almost on Instagram, 20,000 on Facebook, everything like that. So I'm like, oh, maybe I should post more. But, the more you post, unfortunately, the more people are going to have their opinions.
Yeah.
And the majority lately of opinions have not been nice whatsoever. So, I mean, I've kind of been dealing with that since I was 16, which is unfortunate, but some of the rumors are like, oh yeah, she's definitely sleeping with these guys to get on all these hunts. And I'm like, you're joking, right? Like my boyfriend comes with me on like 75% of the trips that I go on. The other 25% of the trips are like things that he doesn't really favor to hunt, or like he doesn't have nearly the time off work that I have.
Yeah.
So like, but still, the dudes are either like 75 years old or like their wives are literally along with, and we get along super well. Or like the Ohio hunt that I just did this past fall, I drove 16 hours out there all by myself. Met this guy off Facebook. He had randomly messaged me. I told my boyfriend, I was like, hey, do you want to come with? He's like, no. Because that's like one of the very first things that I asked when anyone asked me, hey, do you want to come hunt? Do you want to come fish? I'm like, okay, yeah, if my boyfriend can come.
Right.
Like if I knew that he'd want to join.
How long have you guys been together?
9 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. On and off, but the majority, like 7
Life
solid
happens.
years. Yeah, for sure. But anyway, so I'm always like, first things first, if my boyfriend can come. And some of them instantly block me, and others of them are like, yeah, bring them along. Like, they're cool with it. They just want people to come hunt and fish with them, So, yeah, that's where those rumors are definitely shot down. But like I was saying, I was out in Ohio. This guy had just randomly messaged me on Facebook. I'm like, sure, I'll give it a shot. He linked me to all of his trail cameras, so I knew it was legit out there. I got out there and I just started hunting. I didn't even meet him. He sent me the pin of where to go. He's like, go to this stand and sit. And so that's what I did for the past couple of days. I just went back and forth to and from the field, never even meeting this guy. And then I think I literally met him for like 5 solid minutes, and that was it.
Yeah.
So he could show me which other stand to get to, because it was kind of difficult to describe over the phone. But yeah, just like things like that, people just I've kind of been dealing with it for a long time, but partially, I try not to care, but also like it's hard to not prove people wrong.
Yeah. So like, what do you do to handle those situations? Because I'm gonna be honest, if someone ever messages me about something, I'm gonna be like appalled. Like, what do you mean? Like, so how do you handle that? And like, I've also noticed through your like social group, like, which I'm guessing is like your boyfriend and his friends and whatever, but like, do you have a core group of girlfriends? Like what does that look like for you?
Truthfully, not really. I mean, my best friend Callie, she does some of the outdoor stuff too, but like I'm mainly an independent person. Like I love all my best friends, but all of them besides her like don't hunt or fish really or anything like that. So I'm pretty independent when it comes to that aspect. So you asked how I overcome it. Like you never really get over it. You have to prioritize what you choose to respond to. And
of course,
I've really been trying to just not even open any of the comments or anything. And when I do, like it's just that heart dropping like feeling that you get reading those things about you that aren't even true.
It brings you back to high school.
It brings you back to high school, middle school even. Like I was bullied in high school pretty bad just because of the way I looked also. But like, okay, so I go from young, like tomboy looking kid to now I am apparently Donald Trump's Oompa Loompas, whatever. Like whatever you can think of, that's how I look because I'm apparently tan and blonde hair and fake. And a lot of me is fake, but a lot of me is
but does that make you feel? Does that make you feel good?
No, not at all.
No, does it make you feel good to like?
100%.
And blonde and like
so it's the 21st century. I'm 25 years old.
It is 2025, people.
Oh my gosh!
If we want to get a boob job, if we want to get
which I don't even have, by the way. Thank you. I wish if someone wants to pay for it, I'm not going to tell you no. Nails. I have nails. I just got my Botox done, my lips, my tan, my hair, my teeth. That's it. But that is also a lot. But also, it's not going to stop
me from good.
Right. It makes you feel good just like.
I think that's like where it all like stems back to like, okay, like who am I? Who are these people? Okay, first of all, do you all have jobs? And are you busy enough? Because when I hear comments like that, I'm like, you need a hobby and to mind your own business.
Or a girlfriend. Or something. Because obviously you
manage your time better, please.
For real.
I don't have time to go hate on people on Instagram. And that's like the worst way to utilize your time.
Right.
But I am just, like you said, this is the 21st century. It is 2025. It's hard to even look down the street and not see a girl who's getting Botox. Like, kudos to the girls who aren't.
It took away my migraines. Okay, there's a lot of there's a lot of positives to it. Okay, and the lashes too. I forgot about the lashes, and shout out to Brittany for doing her amazing lashes too. I was listening to her on your podcast, but I do have the caterpillar lashes. But I'm all like, go big or go home because I'm gonna stand out if I'm gonna do it. Okay,
I love that. But you know what, Leah, that's what makes you too. Like that's a big deal.
Yeah, but like I was saying, just that heart dropping, like you read those things and instantly your heart just like sinks, and I've learned to use that as fuel to like just keep going. Like when I have that feeling, I'm like, okay, well, watch this, I can't really let it get to
the best revenge.
Literally.
The best revenge.
Yes.
Oh my god, I love that.
This podcast is sponsored by Taylor & Co. Taylor & Co. is a mother-daughter nurse duo-owned business specializing in handcrafted, all-natural self-care products and services with an emphasis on health, wellness, and holistic healing. Their products are handcrafted in Minnesota with pure, natural, and organic ingredients. They offer wellness services such as yoga classes, Reiki healing, and more. You can find them on Instagram or online at taylorandco.boutique.
Okay, you're not crazy active on Instagram. So tell us how you went from a, small amount of followers or an average amount of followers to like a booming amount? Like you have so many followers. What are you at? I don't even know.
I think I'm at like 38 point something
Yeah.
thousand. And last year at this time, I think I had not even 10.
Yeah.
So, and I have no idea. Like, I'm still, like, my YouTube, it's small. I've had my YouTube channel
Small,
for
like small as in not a lot of videos. However, when I was looking at your YouTube channel, you have thousands of views, like 10,000 views on most of your videos.
Yeah, so I'm still trying to figure out that algorithm of like Instagram versus YouTube. I think I figured out Instagram in the ways like I am not crazy active on it, but also like I know it sounds kind of crazy, but I don't care about social media
Yeah.
really. Like I do what I do when I do it and I post it and I just save a whole bunch of B-roll and footage and whatever and just post here and there. Like when I notice I'm starting to lose a couple followers and stuff, like I do care sometimes about the followers just
That's
because
your
like
community.
right, it's your community and like you want to make that name for yourself, so you kind of want all of those people following what you're doing, you know.
Right.
My YouTube I've only had for a year now, so I think I only have like 2,000 subscribers on that. And it's just weird to me that some of the videos that I wouldn't think have blown up have gotten like 20,000, 25,000 views. And then like the ones I think that are going to do amazing, like when we went out west to Oregon and caught like 9-foot, 10-foot sturgeon, I'm like, yeah, this video's going to be sweet. And it's got like 1,500 views. I'm like, okay, come on.
It's so unpredictable.
I know, and I don't know how to fix it. So I'm still trying to learn on that aspect. But Instagram, you know, I'm kind of just making sure my edits on my pictures are really good. Like I look at the picture and people are gonna like this one, and like, you know, like the viewpoints that you put in your pictures. Like I don't post like things that I don't think are very like relevant to. You know, I don't really post selfies much. I don't post like I only post here and there when I'm going on these really big trips.
Yeah.
So, and I think that's what stands out too. And then just random reels here and there too.
Yeah.
That's where like my following really blew up, is just posting reels.
Yeah, I follow this girl on Instagram who talks a lot about like the marketing side of like yourself, like your brand, like trying to build your brand.
For sure.
And she says a lot on how reels are huge. And if you're not doing it, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Seriously,
because and you know, this is obviously more of a conversation for like building a brand, but like truly, if you are trying to reach people and you are trying to like build that community, reels are important.
Right. But it's also like so much work.
No, it's so much. Like, it's a full-time job being an influencer.
Yeah, when I'm sitting there, but I truthfully don't like the word influencer.
No, I don't.
Because I don't, like, people tag me as that and I don't want to be that.
Right.
Like I said before, I do what I do and I post it. And I do have young girls that look up to me, and I have like parents that are reaching out to me and they're like, my daughter loves to watch you, like my daughter's asking about you, but like I don't want to be tagged as like that influencer, you know, like I just want to be known as I go do what I do and I posted it. So
and I'm good at it.
Yeah, I mean I try, but
yeah.
not all the time. But
so what drew you to YouTube?
Like I said, I've been doing this outdoor stuff since I was 16. I've had a whole bunch of people like follow my adventures, like even my parents are like, you should start a YouTube channel, like really portray what you're doing, show all the work that goes into it, especially to prove people wrong too, you know. I'm like, no, not really for me. But then I see like my dad's side of the family, like they are all like that's their career, is filming for these really big companies, filming for themselves, you know, like Jason Mitchell, and like they're really big guides too. And so I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll give it a try, you know, buy some GoPros and just try it out because I have them by my side to ask, you know, all these questions if I absolutely need it. Then I started doing it, and then it kind of popped off a little bit, and I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty fun. And then like just started with the ice fishing thing, because we were ice fishing every single weekend. So I'm like, okay, this is a good opportunity to learn, because, you know, figure out where your cameras are, figure out like, you know, the GoPro batteries, you know, like things like that. So that's kind of where I started, and then I really found a love for it like when I got my my first bear hunt in Canada on film, and like that was, I thought, just the coolest thing ever. Like seeing that whole thing come together, like from the moment I left my house, like that feeling that I get now when I leave my house, I sit my butt in the truck seat and I just drive and I start recording, and I'm like, this is gonna be cool. So yeah, I just love that feeling now.
Let's talk about that hunt.
Okay, so
tell us all about it.
Yeah, so
tell us from like the beginning. Like if someone wanted to do a bear hunt in Canada, how do you even get started with that?
Okay. So there's a whole bunch of outfitters. So I don't truthfully think that you can hunt Canada without an outfitter.
Sure.
Unless you live there, obviously. So you can even ask my boyfriend, like my crazy spontaneousness. We were watching YouTube videos, of course, and they were black bear hunts in Canada. And I was like thinking in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna do that. And I had the time off work, I had the money and whatever, so I was just going online, and it took me, I think it takes me less than an hour to have a trip booked. Like when I see something I want to do, I'm doing it.
Go get her.
Yeah, you can ask him. I come home from work, I sit on my computer, and right when I open my computer, he goes, "What are you doing?"
Oh God, he probably trembles a little bit.
Oh, he knows. He knows. I'm like, "Do you want to come with me?" And he's like, "No." I open my computer. I sometimes look on like Worldwide Trophy Adventures. They always have like all these super fun, interesting hunts.
Yeah.
And it was already springtime, so like so much stuff was already booked out.
Yeah.
And I think, when was it? I think it was like the beginning of April that I was looking. And I go on Worldwide Trophy Adventures. First thing that pops up is this cancellation bear hunt up in Saskatchewan. I'm like, oh, 18 hours. That's not bad. So I give him a call. She was the nicest girl ever. It was the owner's wife. So I called him. I was like, I really want to come hunt, and she's like, let's get you here. So I booked it, and a couple weeks later, I went. And next thing you know, I'm in Canada, and I get there. Yeah, like I said, it was like an 18-hour drive.
Okay.
But anyway,
And you did it by yourself.
did it by myself, completely by myself. I drive 18 hours north. I pull in, and they show me like the cabin room, and there's like 9 rooms in this little cabin, and I think they're like the size of this table, like maybe 7 by 7, like
Oh my gosh.
a little cot, and that's my room for 7 days.
Oh my gosh.
I instantly lose service like an hour away, so I don't have any service. I'm like, I said like not goodbye, but like goodbye to all my people before I got there, because I kind of had a feeling I was gonna lose service.
Yeah.
Didn't talk to anyone for like a good 5 days. Like my parents are probably freaking out. And my boyfriend's like, okay, well I hope you haven't got mauled yet.
Right.
Anyway, so I sit in the stand. So it's called Bear Country Outfitters. That's who I went with.
Okay.
So yeah, so she would have like she would ring the breakfast bell. It was me, and then it was 2 other couples. The one couple was like 65 years old. They had drove up from Oklahoma. And then there was another couple, or there was another man. I think he was like almost 70 probably. He drove, I can't remember where he drove from. I want to say Kentucky.
Okay.
He always hunts down in Kentucky, so he drove up. And then there was Jerry. So Mr. Jerry, this is partially off topic, but this is why I do all these hunts too, is to go meet these people.
Yeah.
Like every single hunter fishing trip that I go on, my dad's like, "What's your story this time?" You know, like, who did you meet? And like, it just brings me to tears sometimes, the stories that I have to tell just about the people alone.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Jerry, I met him too. He was shooting like this Matthews bow from 1980. It was like one of the first Matthews bows that they ever made. And I was talking to him and whatever, and he travels, like I thought my adventures were pretty cool. Jerry is like, I think he's 64, travels the world hunting and fishing, no cell phone, no GPS, and just his paper map. Like he showed me his paper map with all of his things on it. I'm like, how do you like book these trips? You know, how do you hear about them? And he's like, well, I'm just a repeat customer. Like I mail them. Like I send mail back and forth. And this is actually what I have from Jerry. He sent me a letter, and I almost cried. I'll read it to you in a little bit. But I completely forgot I gave him my address, and I come home on Christmas, so like 9 months after I meet him. And I have that really cute Christmas letter from him, and he's so cute. But yeah, he's just the sweetest person you'd ever meet. And like, he was probably one of my favorite parts of the trip, because he shot so many bears in his life. And every day when we would come back for dinner, or like every night we'd get back for dinner, and we'd be like, Jerry, what'd you see? And he's like, I saw so many bears. But guess what? I'm not going to shoot them. I just love to watch them. Like, he was such a nature person.
Huge hunt just to watch.
100%. He's such a nature person. Like, that just makes you appreciate life at such a different level. Like, yeah, he was so cute. And anyway, so it was day 4 of 5 of my hunt. They were only really having us hunt the evenings because, I don't know, mornings just aren't super successful on bear hunts up there in the early spring. And I was like, can I sit all day long? And they're like, you go for it, you know. So I think it was hour number 10. Obviously, I didn't see anything in the morning, but at least I could say that I tried. Yeah, I think it was hour number 10. It was like 6:30. I hear something behind me, just like a. It's crazy that these big bears, how they sneak up on you.
Yeah.
And they are so smart. So yeah, I heard something crack behind me. I was getting a little bit tired. I was like, okay, come on, the sun was going down. You know, I'm like, it's go time. Like day 4 or 5 of my hunt. Like I'm ready. Like I've seen a couple bears, but I passed on them. You know. Yeah. I spent my entire 18-hour drive like studying. Like I've never been on a bear hunt before. I studied, you know, the difference between a boar and a sow, and like how big you want it to be, and like where you shoot a bear, because you don't want to shoot a bear like where you shoot a whitetail. You know, like there's no way you're gonna kill a bear if you shoot it right behind the scapula, because their scapula is like this big. So yeah, it's called like the center of the center. That's what I kept telling myself. But yeah, if you watch my YouTube video, you can kind of see him coming in behind me, and then he like comes over here a little bit to my left, and he's like standing on a trail, you know, taking a sweet old time, and I put my lucky Fruit Loops out there or whatever, and so he sat there for like an hour. Like he kept going back and forth. I'm like, come on. Yeah. But it was honestly nice because like I let my nerves settle, you know, like I knew he was there, so like I wasn't that nervous when he came in. Yeah. He finally committed to coming into the barrel, and he was like, I don't know, kind of just taking a couple steps. And when I was practicing, you know, I didn't really practice drawing my bow for that long. And you could tell in my video too, like I had drawn back, but I wanted to, like, I promised myself I was going to make like the most ethical shot that I could. Of course. And so I think I was drawn back for like 32 or 34 seconds, which was actually a really long time. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, like he's not giving me a shot, but I can't just shoot, you know, right. Like I've come this far, like just hold it, you know. Then I'm like, if he takes one more step, I'm shooting. So then I shot, and yeah, it was like a tad far back, because you know you want to hit double lung. I think I hit lung and a little liver. Okay. So I'm in my first bear hunt though, and it was getting dark. They're honestly way harder to shoot than you'd think. Like like it's just this black blob. You know? Like you really don't know. I don't know.
And it's getting dark, and
it's getting dark. It's raining. It had rained like 3 of the 4 days that I had been there, just pouring rain, like always, because the rain likes to follow me, apparently, even on my other hunts.
Yeah, your turkey hunt, too.
Oh my god, yeah. Like 5 days trying to hunt these turkeys in the pouring rain, and my whitetail hunt in Ohio, it was pouring rain. Anyway, so then I shot them, and we didn't have phone service. Right. And, you know, there's so many wolves in the area, like there's so many everything. The rain was kind of easing up, and then like I kind of just had to sit there. So I think I took the shot at like 7:15, and it got dark at like 8 or something, I want to say. So I didn't have to sit there super long, but I was just like basking in the moment. Like it was the best moment ever. I'm like, I can't wait to call my dad. I can't wait to call my boyfriend. Like, but they didn't want to go look for it that night because it was dark and there's wolves. So I had to, like, you know, the nerves of, like, you know, if you shoot a whitetail and you got to wait it out, you know. So.
Oh, did you even sleep that night?
No, no. I sat awake in my little tiny jail cell, and I was like, God, please let me be dead. Like, I know I took a good shot. Like, I showed everyone the video, and that's where I love videoing, too, because I instantly showed everyone back at camp the video, and they're like, no way, like, he's dead. Like, I'm like, heck yeah. So I went back in the morning, and he did go a little bit far just because he fell down a hill. Okay. So like he ran up the hill, but then he must have fell. So we kind of had to. It's hard to track bears because they really don't bleed. You know, like their fat holds and all that blood. But yeah, and then we found him. He was right there, and yeah. So that was
huge bear.
Yeah, he was big. I think they estimated him was like 450 pounds. Yeah, he was a big boy. He's at the taxidermist right now. I have him at with Nick Gennaro up north. Okay. So, yeah, so he should be done this summer, hopefully. I'm super pumped. I got a 3/4 shoulder on him. Nice. And then I actually do have 2 more hunts coming up this spring. So after my turkey fiasco that I have coming up, my 5 turkey hunts that I have coming up that I coordinated, I go back to, my uncle is really big with this company. He got me in, and they had reached out to me to go hunt at Marshland Outfitters back up in Saskatchewan. Okay. So that'll be a new one for me. That one is fully filmed. I actually have a really big time videographer coming with me on that one. So I'm pretty pumped for that. And then my dad.
And that's a turkey hunt?
No, that's the bear hunt.
That's another bear hunt?
Yeah, so that'll be the spring bear hunt. So that's a really big outfitter in Saskatchewan. So I'm really thankful for them to they're like, come up and hunt and bring a videographer, and like we got you. So like it's a really big time hunt for just to film for them. So I'm really, really blessed to be able to do that. And then my dad really wanted to do a trip, so I knew of this company that's really good based out of Manitoba because he didn't really want to go all the way to Saskatchewan, and it's Agassiz Outfitters. So my boyfriend, myself, and my dad are gonna go there in June to hunt bears there too. So, but yeah, my turkey hunts, I leave for Florida next Thursday.
Okay.
For the Osceola, and then the week after that, I go to Texas, really South Texas for the Rio Grande turkeys. Then a couple weeks after that, I go out to Montana for the Miriam, and then here for the Eastern. So I got challenged to the Grand Slam, so obviously I have to do it. So I'm really pumped for that. That'll be my first Grand Slam. So.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Starting next week, it's gonna get pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's insane. So obviously, we don't need to talk about it in depth, but you're a nurse, so you have a very flexible schedule in the sense of like blocking. You know, like you can work like, do you work 12s? I'm assuming.
I work 2 12s, 2 8s.
Okay.
I have been doing that all winter long. I actually haven't had a schedule, like a bi-weekly paycheck this year yet that has less than 110 hours on it.
I know, you're freaking wild.
So yeah, I have been super working my butt off. And that's another funny thing too, is when people reach out to me and they're like, oh, it must be nice not having a job, must be nice, daddy's money, blah, blah, blah. Like people nickname me daddy's money all the time. And I'm like, my dad works his butt off for his money, but I work my butt off for my money.
Yeah.
Like, he's for sure helped me. He's got me to where I am today, but he's also, I've done 5 years of college since I was 16. So, and like, he's pushed me to do that. Like, he's taught me work ethic. Like, he's taught me everything. So yeah, it's pretty funny when people say that. I try not to, like, you know, have to prove myself to them, and I like work my butt off, and I love my job. But I just dropped down last week to 3 12s a week. So yeah, so I mean, it's technically like 36 hours a week, whatever, but I still am picking up like crazy just because I know the schedule that I have coming up. And I work every third weekend too. So like I know which weekend I work for like years to come.
Right.
Like if I want to plan a trip, I usually tend to plan trips around like the weekend that I work. So say I work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, like that's my 3 shifts, you know. So then I can be gone like Monday to Sunday. Right. You know, like, and without using PTO. And people are like, oh, you must use so much PTO, blah, blah. I'm like, no, I just work my butt off. And if I need to use PTO, I can. Yeah. Because, like, I accrue paid time off when I pick up at work. And so I have, like, so many hours. Right. Yeah, I love my job. And people ask me sometimes, like, the question of, would you ever quit nursing to do this full time, you know? And I honestly would say no, because, like, I love my job. And, like, back to the work ethic thing, like, my dad's side of the family does this filming stuff and hunting stuff for a living, and it seems like they are amazing at what they do, but like the passion, you know, sometimes just like they have to do it for their job, you know. And I do not want to have to do this stuff and be successful at it, because you know, like the outdoor world, it's not successful all the time, you know. And to get views and to get, you know, make money and whatnot, like you have to be successful at what you're doing. And like I love the luxury of just making a bucket list and like being able to just take the time and go do this type of stuff versus like having to do it, you know.
It does change, kind of similar like to my photography. I was doing photography really hardcore for a long time, and then it got to the point where it was work. Yeah. And you're like, this isn't fun anymore. I used to love this.
Yeah, I used to love taking pictures. You know, I used to love like the moment, but now like you know, you have to do it.
Yeah, you're forced, right?
Yeah. So then, like, whenever you're forced to do something, no one likes to have to do something, you know, and then you kind of just dread doing it, right? You know, so So yeah, I don't think I would ever full time do it. I love to be able to fall back on an income and, you know, make as much as I can and as much as I want, and then be able to put that towards what I love to do.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that is all those hunts. That is so lucky to be able to do that, Leah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm very blessed to do what I do. It's pretty funny, like the bucket list that I have. It's honestly sad what fuels me sometimes to book these trips is like I said, I get home. So every time I have a death at work, you know, I go home, I book a trip. Like I go home, I go to my computer, and I fulfill something off my bucket list. Like it's honestly an addiction to like book a trip. Like just that feeling you get to book a trip. Just because everyone, you know, at the hospital, like you've worked at the hospital too, like you know, like that feeling of, all of my patients ask me like, what do you do for fun? And I tell them and they're like, no way. Like I show them pictures and they're like, that's not you. Like, do it while you're young. Just do it because I regret this and this and this. And then sometimes a couple weeks later, like they're dead, and like it's super sad. So yeah, you get to know your patients and then, the next they're just gone. And
Right.
so yeah, it really fuels you to just do what you love, like. Yeah,
it's so true. We're all aging, right?
Yeah.
Every day, we're not promised tomorrow. All those
No, 100%.
all those cliche things that people say are true.
But unless you've experienced firsthand, like working in a hospital and seeing that stuff, or like my dad, he's the chief of the SWAT team in North Minneapolis, so like he's death all day long, death, and like he sees it, like the nightmares and whatever. Like he's always taught me just do what you love because like you're not promised tomorrow, so.
No.
So yeah, that's partially why I do all this crazy stuff. Is I get home, I look at flights, I reach out to people, I do my research on what I need and when I need it, and what's needed to make this happen. And I asked my boyfriend, I'm like, do you want to come? No, I don't have time off work. Okay, well I'm going. All right, go kick ass. Like
I love that you're just like, you can come if you want. I'm going anyways.
Well, I know that he's gonna say no sometimes because he doesn't prefer like all these turkey hunts I'm going on by myself, and like all the whitetail hunts that I go on. I think I have like 5 states that want me to come like hunt with them this fall, and he doesn't got no patience to sit in a deer stand. He'd rather go out to the mountains and hike a bunch of miles, which I would love to do too, but
there's more of an adrenaline rush with the hunt.
Yeah, exactly. And you can't say no. Like you get all these opportunities. Why would you say no to them?
No.
Trying to fit them all into your schedule gets pretty chaotic, but like I cannot say no.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm kind of sick at work today. Sorry. Yeah. Like sometimes, like if the rut just so happens to fall on my weekend, but yeah. What do you do? I mean, I'll be back. You can literally ask anyone I work with, and they'd be like, "Yep, you should just rent a room here because we know that you live here."
Oh my
gosh. I worked some of the most hours than anyone on the unit. So
yeah, I know. I saw you post your time card the other day. So, and I'm like, oh my god,
I was like 110 hours. I think I had 134. I accidentally worked a 20-hour shift, which was completely illegal, but they let me do it because we had 6 total ill calls that day.
Oh.
And like, so I think we had 4 throughout the night because it was like a night into a day into an afternoon or whatever. And then they're like, we just had, because I was already planning to work a 16, like night into day, because I'm day-night rotating, which is also really hard super hard to compose yourself with that, but. So yeah, I was originally supposed to work at 16.
Rotating. Works 110 hours.
Yeah. Yep.
I would be a disaster.
Yeah, that coffee over there really does pretty good.
Oh.
Yeah, it's really tough. But when I'm like sitting there, like I love the work that I do. I love, it sucks sometimes and the people suck sometimes, but the people I work with are amazing.
Yeah.
And like I'm just sitting there, and then like next thing I know, I'm on top of a mountain, and I'm like, those hours were so worth it. Like
put in your time so you can do the fun stuff.
I won't have it any other way.
Yeah. Okay, tell me how. I've seen like from your Instagram a lot of Florida trips. What is the tie to Florida?
My mom lives there.
Oh.
Yeah, she moved there when I was 14.
Okay.
So yeah, so she loves to hunt and fish and whatever, so she does that there. They were looking at buying some land of their own down there. She's like a super businesswoman or whatever. She's got her master's in counseling, so she like helps a bunch of kids and all that. But yeah, she's really big into the outdoors like me. I think her and her husband just built on their own like 3 cabins like in the middle of the woods or something. They're super like, it's like a vibe out there. Like there's lights around, and it's not like the Florida vibe that you would really get. Like it's like kind of Everglades-ish, like lights up, it's got a fireplace just because she's born in Minnesota, like the fire,
she wants that vibe.
Those fireplace nights, so yeah, she built that. And then so it's pretty nice to be able to go down there whenever I want, have somewhere to stay, and then just find what's around.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
so you just stay with her, and then are you outfitting while you're down there, or are you just does she just help you find spots to hunt? You do a lot of lizard hunting too. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I kind of had some connections with that. His name is Jason with JP Outfitters. So he actually took Tim Wells, and I knew of him through Tim Wells, the Slock Master or whatever. Yeah. Through his stuff, and so I reached out to him when I was gonna go down there with my mom, and I was like, "Hey, you got any openings?" And he's like, "I'd love to have you." I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna film if that's okay." He's like, "Let's do it. We're gonna kill him." And I'm like, "All right, let's do it." And then I also have some buddies down there too that live down there that have wanted me to come hog hunt and stuff, but I just haven't really found the time. Because sometimes when I go there, it's weird to hear, but sometimes I just like to relax and not do anything because just she wants to spend time together too. And so I think we've done the iguana hunts 3 times. And then that's kind of it down there besides the inshore fishing or whatever. But truthfully, I'd way rather fish up here, to be honest. So.
Yeah. Saltwater fishing doesn't appeal to me.
Right, me too. If you're going to go catch giant tarpon and stuff, 10K Charters is a really good buddy of my uncle's, and he's super nice, and I want to go down there and fish with them. I think that's one thing that I would for sure try.
But check it off the list and then move on kind of thing.
For sure, yeah. But it's not at the top of my list either. I have probably 80 other things before I would make time to do that. Mm-hmm. So yeah. But it's nice to be able to go down there. She loves it there, so she wants me to move there, and I'm like, no, sorry, it'll be out west if anything. I love the mountains. I pray that I live there someday, but yeah.
Well, you keep working 110 hours
for real, yeah.
in a week, and you're gonna
one day I'll be a mountain girl. I wish.
Yeah, super fun
for sure.
Okay. We are I don't even know how far into this, and we haven't even talked about your background, growing up. Before we started the podcast, you and I chatted a little bit, but let's take a step back. Tell us about your upbringing. Where did this cute blonde girl decide I'm gonna just go kick all the boys' ass in hunting and fishing?
My dad wanted a son, so here I am, the son.
Yeah.
Here I am, I'm his son, ever since I was a little kid, since I could walk, he's had a fishing pole in my hand, taught me to shoot a shotgun, gun safety, super huge, things like that. I only started archery a couple years ago. I started that on my own, but he's like I said, he's on the SWAT team. He was an undercover investigator. For those of you that want to keep trying to mail me stuff, we'll get into that in a little bit too. Remind me of that. But yeah, he's super big into the rifle hunting, and he's brought me pretty much everywhere that he's loved to go. Out to Wyoming, and I shot my first elk with a rifle when I was, I think, 14 or 15. Just whitetail all around the house, turkeys, things like that. Mm-hmm. And then I get that attitude, like I said, from my mom. If there's something even completely unrealistic that we want, we're not gonna stop until we do it. Mm-hmm. So yeah, definitely from my dad and my mom since I was really young. We kind of lived the farm life, and I had that whole tomboy vibe and whatnot, finding that love for the outdoors, just that addiction to the adrenaline. Mm-hmm. Ever since I was young, he's shown me that adrenaline, and he's like, yes, that's what you want to chase. Mm-hmm.
You had to make kind of a choice in life, deciding to go one way or go towards the hunting. What was that choice?
Yeah, so I grew up rodeoing. My dad met my stepmom. She trains horses. My sister and I, she would help me train our horses that we bought. I rodeoed super hardcore for 4 years, I want to say. I trained that horse up. She helped me. And then my dad, I was at work one day. I first started working as a nurse. Well, I was an LPN in a clinic. So I'll go back to, I graduated LPN school when I was 19. I did the advanced program, so I graduated high school with my associate's degree, all thanks to my dad, making me do school, I hated him for making me do it, but now I wouldn't regret a day of it.
Right.
And so I graduated my LPN program, worked in a clinic, and then I was pretty comfortable with where I was at, 410s, Fridays off, and whatnot. And I rodeoed pretty hardcore every single weekend. And then all of a sudden, I didn't want to go back for my RN, when you're doing your job and people are like, oh, would you ever go back for your RN?
You're already making money. You're like,
I was like, heck no. I love my clinic schedule. I would never change it. And then all of a sudden I get back to my phone and it was like, oh, you've been accepted to the advanced program to get your RN. And I'm like, what?
Oh, great.
And my dad, I texted my dad and he was like, yeah, I signed you up. You're going back. And I was like, really? And so it kind of hit me pretty hard. I had to leave the job that I really loved, the people like that I love to work with and everything, my awesome schedule,
Right.
and like things like that. So I ended up selling my horse. I sent him down to Texas. I made a pretty big sacrifice doing that. In doing that, I sold him for quite a bit of money to a high school rodeo girl who's really loves him. Like she sends me pictures of him all the time, and I actually am gonna stop by and see him when I fly to Texas in 2 weeks. So I'm really excited for that. But yeah, it was a huge sacrifice, and I told myself like I'm gonna go back to RN school. I'm gonna get my RN, and I'm really gonna focus on that because I ended up selling him for enough to be able to get me by to focus strictly on school and not have to work. So I cranked out a 2-year program in 9 months. So that was super hard, but I'm glad I did it. And yeah, so that's what happened. And I do miss him, but everything happens for a reason, and it's time to grow up at some point and find other passions. So that's why I wasn't super huge into the social media hunting. You know, I did it on the side. Like I obviously
doing it. It was still a thing.
Yeah, for sure. Like it just wasn't my main focus. Yeah. And then ever since I have made it my main focus, aside from the big time nursing, is I think why my name has gotten pretty big too.
Do you realize how dedicated you sound?
No, like I don't, and
the dedication is just like seeping out of you. You should be so proud.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm trying to tell myself that, but just back to the negative comments. It really, they stick with you forever.
Oh, it's sad. It really it does.
It makes you sometimes not want to post stuff that you know is going to be really cool. Or like we have a Romania trip. I'll be one of the first females to go hunt the Carpathian Mountains in Romania and Europe in September. And I'm super looking forward to it, but also I just am not looking forward to what people have to say about it. Like it's pretty sad sometimes, but you have to.
It's disappointing.
Look past that.
Yeah.
But that's how you know you've made it, Like I've had so many big names reach out to me, like, and be like, do not listen to these people, and do not even bat an eye towards who you want to ask advice from.
Yep.
You know, and that sticks with me for sure. So.
Oh, you're sitting in your basement messaging me, like, come on. Like I said, like, do you have a job?
100%.
Those kinds of things. Like, get a hobby, people.
For real. Or a girlfriend, like I said.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, you have never seen a woman in the 25-year-old girl in the 21st century that's trying to impress, like, you're damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Yeah.
Like, I almost didn't wear makeup here just to prove a point, but then I was like, I want to, like, look good and have a good time, like, with the girls, you know? Like, which, I mean, I look, honestly, like I could show you some pictures and it's really funny. Like half of the pictures I post on my Instagram, I don't even have makeup on. Like I have my lashes done. Just like Brittany said, like you wake up in the morning, we're waking up at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
My lashes are done and I put some self-tanner on. Sorry, it's so tan. Oh my gosh. I can't catch a fish now because I have so much tan on.
Yeah.
But
it's alright. I just look good doing it.
I try my best. Like yeah.
Huh.
So.
Well, I mean, after everything you've just said, like the dedication, like you were young, you decided to sell a horse, you used that money to go to school, and now you're just like constantly like grinding. Like it's a big deal.
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, so I can't ask you about one type of animal because you literally hunt and fish all the things, but I mean, we kind of already know like how you find time, but how do you feel you've gotten involved with like all of these, like you said, you're going to Texas, you're going to, up to Saskatchewan, all these things, or this Romania hunt, like how do you get involved? Maybe you're just lucky, or not lucky. You're a badass. That's not what I meant. But definitely, I mean, like, lucky in the sense of you have family who is in the industry, and it is all about who you know, right? Like there's
100%.
that. I mean, that's what got me my first job down at the hospital that I worked at.
Yeah.
Like, it is all about the people, your connections, and that kind of thing. So, tell us more about that. Like, how have you gotten involved? Like, is there anything like you could give a tip for the girls who are like trying to like get involved with other things?
For sure. It is 100%, like 110, 120% social media. Yeah. Like, you get your name out there, post what you can, be confident when you're posting. It all just leads up to the people that have reached out to me. Like, yes, I do get lucky with it, and I am I'll forever be blessed with the people that reach out and ask me to come hunt. And I think that's where the majority of it comes along, is these people reach out and they're like, hey, do you want to come do this? Do you want to come hunt whitetail? Do you want to come hunt turkey? And in doing that, your name can get so big as to where these people from Romania, actually, apparently some people were talking about me in a good way, to these Romanian people at a convention in California. And they heard about me and they had reached out to me through Instagram and they're like, do you want to come hunt? And I'm like, for one, where is Romania? Like, what do you hunt there? And they're like, we have red stag, we have fallow deer, like, we will give you a discount, we want you to come film and hunt for us. Like, and that's the majority of how I find my hunts, really, is if people don't initially reach out to me, like I said, I research, or like I ask my family, or like, do you have any connections with this or this, or like connections through connections, like all of the people that I've met, like know so many people, you know, like they might know people that, like, you'll be like, no way you know them, like it's so good to meet as many people as you can and just be a people person.
Be a good person.
Yeah.
Be a good person, because then those connections are going to constantly continue to compound.
For sure. Yeah. And so I think that's how, honestly, is I get hooked up with these people, is like you get the completely random ones, like the one in Ohio that messaged me and was like, come hunt, and I'm like, all right, 15 hours, let's go. Or like companies that they're called Whitetail Project Outfitters, and that's who I hunted Kentucky with last fall for whitetail. I wasn't successful. They worked their butts off to have me hunt with them. So it was just the weather and everything just didn't come into play, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. And they're like, come turkey hunt with us in Florida. And then the boys at the archery shop that I go to, they're like, I bet you can't do a grand slam. And I'm like, what's that? Because, like, you know, I'm not super huge into turkeys. Like, I shoot them. But, like, you know, I didn't know that there was so many subspecies that you can, like, go shoot.
Right.
I'm like, all right, let's go. So they had just coincidentally, like, nothing's a coincidence, but to me, it's like, well, that was so coincidental. Like, you just were like, come shoot a turkey. And I'm like, okay, there's one turkey, Osceola. Okay, I'm gonna look for some Texas hunts. Okay, some dude reached out to me from Montana, come shoot a Miriam. And I'm like, we're gonna do the dang thing.
Yeah.
You know, so there's that. And then going further, like, I always have to expand, you know, like, I'm not just gonna stop at 4 turkeys. Like, so next spring, we're actually gonna go to Mexico and do the oscillated turkey hunt.
What's that?
You don't know look up oscillated turkey. They're insane. They're like, I think the males get maximum like 10 to 12 pounds. They're tiny, but they're like little peacock turkeys. They're beautiful. And Chris B and Caitlin Mouse did the hunt through again Worldwide Trophy Adventures.
They are beautiful.
Yeah.
It's like a peacock.
I know. Yeah, but they're tiny, so like, and they sound super funny, and I knew that was a thing too, so that's right up there on the bucket list. So
okay, when and where are you doing that? You lost me at the turkey.
So they have them in Mexico.
Okay.
So it's like somewhere in Mexico. It's like Quintana or something. It's like south of Cancun.
Okay.
And I know my boyfriend always wants to, like, maybe go to the beach. He's like, oh, maybe we go.
I'm like, go to the beach. I will go hunting.
Right? I know. I bet he'd hunt that one just for fun. I don't know. It's not set in stone yet.
Okay.
I've reached out to them. It's in the works. So we'll see, because there's a couple other things I want to do next spring too that I'm trying to line up. Utah mountain lion. That's on my bucket list. And
would you run it with dogs?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So back to, you know, just get your name out there. Like, don't hesitate to like research into what you're doing. These people, for sure, because like, I wasn't scared going out to this Ohio place with this random dude because my dad's a cop, and
you're like
whatever.
Try it.
Like, for real, that's what I was saying. I'm like, try it, and he didn't try anything. Like, he was so respectful, and I make my boundaries known.
There are good people out there,
for sure.
Like,
and you just like you said, I get lucky. These people like just reach out to me and they're like, come hunt, and he's not an outfitter. Like, he's just a random dude that has some really nice deer and he wants me to come hunt. Yeah. And I'm like, thank you so much. Like,
you're like, yes, sign me up.
Yeah. Happily. You just don't be scared to step out of your box or like comfort zone and just do it. Like, you will not regret doing it. And even if you're not successful, like, it'll be a memory forever. And like, that's my huge thing, is make a memory. That's my whole family's thing, is make a memory. Like, my grandma said it. Like, my whole family has it tattooed. Like, no matter what, like, successful or not, like, you know, it's a memory forever. Like, life is way too short to just not do it. You know?
I'll put a plug in too, like from like my experience with this podcast and whatever. Reach out. Reach out. Be the person that reaches out.
Oh,
because,
for sure.
I mean, maybe you've done this too, but like, I would have no one on this podcast if I didn't reach out to them.
Yeah.
Which, of course, like, that's the point, right? Like, I'm supposed to be the one bringing people on, but at the same time, like, it's given me a lot of confidence too to talk to people and reach out. And I think that going forward, like, even like hopefully as the podcast grows, I'll be able to get more confident in asking
100%.
even more people. But there's nothing wrong with reaching out.
Because what are they going to do? Okay.
The worst is they don't respond or they say no.
Exactly.
And who cares then? Then move on.
On to the next.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Yeah.
And just like I said too, like the people that you meet and the connections that you have, like they can be so genuine. Like that's part of one of my favorite things of doing these things is the people that I'll meet, and like I consider them family, like for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
You know? And like, so I was gonna show you this stuff. So
see
it. So this was from a dude that I had no idea who he was. He was some very sweet old guy. He's not old, sorry, Cheryl.
Oh.
But if you're listening, he was just the sweetest guy. When I went down to go hunt Kentucky, there was one other guy hunting on this property.
Yeah.
And he turns out we were having dinner together, just him and I, you know, they made dinner for us and whatnot, and just got to talking, and he's like, yeah, my name's so-and-so, I'm from down south, and you can tell with the accents and everything.
Yeah.
I love their accents. And he's like, yeah, I'm Hunter Phelps' dad. And I'm like the Hunter Phelps, like that like films for Seek One, Lee Ellis, and like Boat Life Levi, you know, like Levi Morgan. I'm like, you're his dad. And he's like, yeah, I'm his dad. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, it was just the people you have no idea. Like, they're just sitting across from you at the dinner table. Anyway, he left me this note because he left the day before I did, and I was out because he didn't hunt. He didn't do all day sits. Like, apparently I'm crazy for sitting all day or something.
I'm getting the most out of my time.
Yeah, well, I
Absolutely.
thought that's what was normal, but apparently, like, according to them, like, a lot of guys, like, will go sit until, like, 9 a.m., and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, it's the rut. My butt's in the stand from 5:30 in the morning to 6 at night, and I'm not leaving.
Yeah.
Like, rain or snow or shine, like, I ain't leaving. And they're like, you're crazy. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. And he goes, he's so sweet. Hey, Leah, it was great getting to meet you. You're a beautiful young lady, and even more beautiful that you love to hunt and fish. Be careful going home tomorrow. Don't be a stranger. Let me know how you're doing from time to time. Shoot straight, kid. Love, Cheryl.
Oh.
And he just like left me this on the table, and it like gives me chills, and so I keep it in my wallet all the time.
That's so precious.
So that's one, yeah. And then my note from Jerry. So I get this in the mail, whatever, from Mr. Gerald Messman, and he sends me this little letter. And so I open it, and it's so full of sparkles. I'm like, what is this? Because I don't know a Gerald. You know?
You're
like, and I get, okay, remind me to talk about this, but just random stuff in the mail. Like, people look at my address, I'm like, come on.
It's creepy.
And he said, like a little pop-up card. I'm like, what the heck? Who's sending you this? Anyways, then I open the letter, and he goes,
oh, I wrote you a whole letter.
Yeah, oh, I won't read all of it, but he's so sweet. He goes, hi, Leah. Happy holiday. I pray you and your family are doing well and healthy. I enjoyed so much meeting and spending time at camp with you and the other hunters. Your friendliness and your love to fish and hunt and get out and about and adventure is so awesome to me. It made me happy. You are so nice to be around. Great stories you shared with us. I was so happy for you when all your efforts and time came down to harvesting a beautiful bear. You're a true sportswoman, and I love it. We need many more girls like you.
Hell yeah!
And like just things like this, like completely top any negative comment.
Oh, for sure.
And those people that are commenting negatively to me, like, will never experience this exact feeling right now.
I know, how sad.
Yeah, and it's just like back to saying, if you truly knew who I was, like, these people see the raw me, like, no makeup, like, out in the complete wilderness, no social media whatsoever, and you're just talking to people all around the world and like gaining connections with these people. Like, there's nothing honestly better than that.
Oh.
And anyway, so he goes on, he was like, I was blessed to shoot 4 deer and 2 nice ones, a 9-pointer, and I just did a fly-in fishing camp for 16 days, blah, blah, blah. So, and just at the end, he goes, love, Jer Bear. Hope to hear from you. Take care and shoot straight. And I was like, So yeah, I'll keep that forever too.
Oh, absolutely.
So I sent him a cute Christmas card, and I haven't heard back from him, but like it was such a really cute surprise.
Yeah.
So
to know that you made an impact too on those people,
For
like
sure,
not
like-
doing anything, just being yourself.
and those people have no, and like I talked about like the negative comments and stuff, and it just like blows these people's minds. They're like, who in their right mind would even like think to say that to someone?
Yeah.
And it's funny because not a single person out of these thousands and thousands of negative people have said it to my face.
Oh, right.
And I'm like, it's weird because some of these people that are reaching out, I have rejected at the bar. Like they follow me around like puppy dogs, and like I reject them at the bar, so they're gonna be like reaching out on my social media. Oh, she's a blah blah blah, or
Yeah.
she's a ugly blah blah blah. Like really, like you're, oh, she's a whore. Really? My
Imagine
boyfriend was
how
like,
they
funny.
talk to like other people.
Yeah.
Like that just makes me think like, oh, if you were saying that over social media to someone you don't know, how do you speak to people you do know?
Exactly. Or how fake are you that
Yeah.
you have to say that to me when you were trying to talk to me?
Yeah.
And I respectfully rejected you, and like, yeah, I don't know, whatever they can.
Let them.
Yeah, let
Just
them
let
and
them.
watch this. Because
Yes. Watch this. Exactly. Oh. Last week I had Chris Bickman and Taylor Tix on.
I heard
And Chris asked me, this is gonna make me sound so stupid, but I don't care.
It's okay.
She said, when I said that I think I had said I was going to hopefully get a turkey take for California, and she said, are you gonna do a grand slam? Is that what you're going for? And like, instead of asking what that was, I was like, no, that's not what I'm doing, and which it's not, but like, so does that mean you have to get, I heard you say it, and I'm like, oh, I hope she elaborates because I have no idea.
I didn't know either. They're like, yeah, I bet you can do a grand slam, and I was like, baseball? Or
Yeah, what are we talking
maybe?
here? So is it like 4 or 5 turkeys?
It's the 4. So I
Grand
think
slam.
it's
See, I'm still stupid. I don't even know baseball. So like,
It's I guess I don't know either. I just know baseball. Grand Slam's a baseball term, I guess. I don't know. Home run, 3 home run. I don't know. Anyway,
bases loaded. Is that what that means? So it'd be 4. Like it'd be
don't ask.
Oh dear God.
Anyway, I had no idea. It's from what I know, it's the 4 subspecies in North America.
Okay.
So, and then there's like I can't remember what it's called. I think it's a national Grand Slam or something, or like worldwide Grand Slam where you shoot the 4 and then you shoot the oscillated 2.
Okay.
Like the one in Mexico.
Yeah.
All that stuff. So yeah, because there's Eastern, there's Miriam, there's Rio Grande or Grande, however you say it, whatever. I'm not from the South, sorry. And Osceolas, however you say that too, because I've been corrected on that too.
Oh yeah, so whatever.
So yeah, so those are the 4 from what I know and from what Google says and from what my guy friends have told me. So unless they're lying, so.
Yeah, okay. That makes so much sense to me.
Yeah, I don't know how to do this.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, I hope it all works out, and I've been working my butt off, and I've been shooting league all winter long at archery country, so I'm excited. Hopefully it works out, and
Good for you. Yeah, I'm proud of you. That's awesome.
thanks.
So going down the line of the unbelievable things that you do, bow fishing is one of them.
Yeah.
How did you get into that?
I love bow fishing. It's like something I really look forward to come spring, come ice off. Like, it's crazy to me. Some people like literally go break ice on lakes to like shoot fish through the water, and I've never done that. But yeah, ever since I met my boyfriend, him and his buddy were really into it back in 2016. So I bought a bow. It was just like some really weird recurve, like whatever. I tried shooting with that. Now I shoot a pretty nice RPM nitro, and it's pink, of course. And
Of course.
we've been doing that like every spring since 2016.
And this is a dumb question. This is a separate bow. Like you can't archery hunt with the same bow.
You can. I think you can put like a reel and a
Okay.
shoot through rod and all of that stuff on a normal like compound bow.
Yeah.
But I think it like you have to put the draw weight down so far. I don't know. I know some people do it, but
you have a separate bow.
yeah, with how hardcore like we are with it, we travel like to South Dakota, and we even took our bow fishing bows to shoot like the alligator gar in Texas with them and stuff. And he actually just bought me. I haven't heard of them before. It's called a Deadwake Leviathan, and that's the bow that he just bought me for Christmas.
Ooh.
So I got rid of the nitro, the pink one, and this is the setup that I'm gonna shoot for this spring. So I haven't shot it yet. We'll see how it works.
Yeah.
I've heard they're really nice. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think the sport is definitely like blown up a lot within the past couple of years. You know, people are just, whether you have a super nice John boat or, you know, just have like a little canoe that people are putting, like a couple years ago we saw a whole bunch of people with like canoes putting like strobe lights or like flashlights and stuff on there. Yeah. I'm like, I don't think you're gonna be very successful, but like how fun to try. Yeah. You know? Like just say you did.
You do you.
Yeah, exactly. Like you have to start somewhere. Yeah. Like maybe in a couple years they'll be winning the world tour or something.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I love bow fishing. It's pretty fun. We go to Wisconsin and I have buddies there too that invite us to come shoot in rivers and whatnot. So
yeah, because it's more of a river thing. Is it really honestly more of a southern thing too? Like
I don't know.
Or is that just because they don't get snow, it seems like?
I think it's because, they don't get snow, and I feel like they have so much more fish. Like, honestly, I mean, I don't know the South very well, but one of my buddies, Maverick, he's like one of the best shooters that I know. He lives in Wisconsin. He's kind of crazy, and he's got a mullet, and he jumps his bow fishing boat, like, all over the place, like, because he's got a bunch of mud motors and everything. Yeah. So you can really go anywhere you want to, and that's what's nice about having those is like you can go anywhere and get through anything, which you obviously get more fish.
Right.
I don't know if there's way more fish down south. Like we tend to find like everyone has their own preference. Some people go for like the Big 10, like shoot the megas, you know, like and only go for giant fish, and other people go for numbers. Yeah. We kind of just go for anything. Like we have a lake down this way actually that we shoot just my boyfriend and I every Memorial Day, and we like hammer the fish. I think we shoot like 200, just him and I, and on a river that connects to a lake. Yeah. Because it's not really only rivers. Like we mainly go to lakes because like the boat that we have, he's got a 1660, just flat bottom John boat, and it's not very strong for the rivers. And we've already gone through like trolling motors is another thing. Like anyone that's bow fishing knows that you're gonna burn through so many trolling motors and it sucks. And so that's why, like with the current on the river, we try and avoid the river sometimes. Yeah, sure. And just kind of go around lakes that we know are pretty good. So.
And it's carp you're shooting. Yeah.
Carp, buff. We really like to shoot the buffs. Dogfish.
Bottom feeders, is that like?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Yeah.
Hey there, nature lovers. Ever wonder how you can make a difference in wildlife conservation and inspire the next generation? Look no further than the Alliance for Wildlife Conservation, AWC. AWC is on a mission to enhance fish and wildlife populations, educate the public, and get young people excited about sustainable hunting and fishing. Their secret? Science-based conservation practices that make a real impact. One of their standout initiatives is the Arizona Youth Waterhole Project. Picture this: teens age 14 to 18 working together in the Arizona desert mountains to develop a waterhole catchment. It's not just about conservation. These young heroes are gaining hands-on experience, making connections, and paving the way for future careers in conservation. At AWC, we believe the future of conservation is in the hands of our youth. And they're right. Through educational programs and real-life experiences, AWC instills a love for nature and a sense of responsibility in our future leaders. So whether you're a seasoned outdoor enthusiast or just looking to support a great cause, join AWC on their journey to promote sustainable hunting and fishing practices. You can find them at Alliance for Wildlife Conservation on Facebook or on their website at allianceforwildlifeconservation.org. Visit them today to be part of the change.
I really don't have anything coming up in the summertime. I try and work a whole lot in like the summer, and then we really focus on archery shooting in the summer. You know, the 3D shoots everywhere. Yep. We'll go to Bow Fest the end of July. We really like that.
Where's that?
That's in Duluth. Okay. So it's like the Duluth, like Wisconsin border. It's super fun. They have like a concert. Last year they had Low Cash, and you like go. They have like 10 courses with like 30 targets set up everywhere. Like they have hills and. Yeah, it's really fun.
Fun.
It's super fun. It's such a good way to like get out and shoot and practice before the fall too. Yeah. So yeah, get your confidence up and have fun with friends.
Yeah, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go into like my girly girl questions.
Okay.
Like
let's do it.
You are the perfect one for this.
Deal.
But you do, as we've already talked about, you've done a lot of like traveling. What are your like top items that you're bringing with you when you're traveling to all these places? Obviously, you're gonna bring your hunting gear and stuff like that, but give us the girly girl things that you're not leaving the house without when you have to go travel.
My self tan. So I really don't wear. If you used to know me, I used to wear honestly so much makeup, and I caked it on, which is fine. Whatever makes you feel comfortable.
Yeah.
But like just like it's so much easier. I just contour with self tan,
Mhm.
and then I just put a little bit of powder over it and fill it in my eyebrows. And obviously I have the lashes on, so I can't leave the house without extra lash glue and like a couple lashes just in case.
Do you do your own lashes?
Yeah, I do
Okay.
my own. So I just order them off Amazon.
Yeah.
So lashes, lash glue, tweezers. I always get stuff in my eye. You can ask my boyfriend. I'm always picking at my eyes. It's like, you got something in your eye again? I'm like, yeah, hairs and something in there. A little bit of like bullshit in my eyes. And yeah, so lash glue.
What self tanner are you using?
It's called, I don't know. I'd have to go
It's
find
okay.
it.
You can tell me after.
It's in my truck, yeah. What else do I bring? Extra pairs of underwear for sure. I bring my baby blanket. Yeah, that's in the truck too. That's another story.
Oh,
but like
boy.
you have to bring something that makes you feel comfortable and
Yes.
like calms you down,
Yes.
you know.
I love that. Maybe I need something like that.
Right. Yeah, what else do I really bring? My straightener, because I don't know how to use a curling iron.
Oh, so you curl this with a straightener?
Yes. I don't know how to use a curling iron, so
Wow.
that's one thing. Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of it. Just, some comfy clothes for sure.
Yeah.
Anything else I really get there, like coffee and my wallet, obviously, and my little Jesus. My mom gave me that because she gives them to all her kids, and yeah, so Jesus watch over you. And
like I said, I'm gonna need a couple of these like trinket things to like maybe calm myself down.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Well, you also do a lot in like I said, Florida. Do you have a favorite bikini brand?
Oh.
Or are you just kind of like all on board with that?
Truthfully, Shein does a girl good.
No, it does, except with the tariffs, we may have an issue with Shein.
Yeah, for real. And they don't make. I'm very not proportionate according to my fake boobs that aren't a thing.
Right.
So the small, I need like a small bottom, but like not a small top.
Yeah, I seem to buy two, which really is still probably half the price of one.
Literally. Halara bikinis.
Halara
comes to mind. That's a really good one.
Okay.
Otherwise, online like bikinis from like PacSun, I really like too. Yeah, but I'm pretty self-conscious. Truthfully, I don't go out in bikinis a whole lot. I really like the cover-up tops from, like, the plain old Hollister. And
yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, love that. Okay. Any words of wisdom for the girlies out there who don't know how to handle criticism?
Kind of just take it with a grain of salt, just like Clayton Schick and all those big people have told me, do not even bat an eye to these people who you would not ask advice from. That's something that's really stuck with me, kept me going, and also a really huge one is remember why you started. Like it gives me chills sometimes, but like literally remember the reason why you started. It's because you love to do it. It's not for anyone else.
Yeah.
Like you do it for you, and you do it because it's your life, and your life is so short. And like make it memorable, and let them be miserable. Like literally, just like you said, let them. Like I love that a lot. So.
And your goals aren't their goals.
Exactly. Jealousy is a disease, truthfully. Like let them be jealous. Like don't judge, like do not be judging someone because it'll come back to you, like when I find myself like gathering opinions or like, I'm like, stop. Like everyone is their own. You don't know what they're going through, like.
It kind of puts you in a bad position, like yourself though, because if you are constantly getting nagged at, right? Like, oh, you look fake.
Yeah.
Then you start looking at yourself like that, one. And then two, you start almost doing the same thing to other people, obviously to a lesser degree because you're a good person. But like, I'm thinking of like, I feel like it would push you to be like.
Right. It makes you like.
In a way, it twists your mind. And you're like, oh, wait a second. I'm a damn good person.
Right.
Like this.
Yeah. I definitely catch myself, and no one is perfect by any means. Like, you just have to let them and like just do the best that you can. You know.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, Leah, I've learned
I've learned so much about you just from the couple conversations we've had before this, and then now this conversation. And I think you're awesome. I think you're a real, true badass.
Thank
you. Just love what you're doing. Like, and that's a huge deal. And to be able to stay on top and, let them talk.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a big deal. It's a huge deal to be able to still just keep loving what you're doing, because that can push a lot of people away from like what they want to do.
For sure. And why keep doing it if you don't love it?
Right.
Like I would 100% not do any of this if I didn't absolutely love it and it fueled me and all the above. So yeah, just get out there and do it and make a name for yourself and remember why you started in the first place.
Yeah, love it. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a really good time and I actually wasn't nervous, and you make it so much better.
Oh, good. I'm glad. This is our first time being on camera.
Yeah.
So that is exciting, and
all
I think
the angles.
Yeah, all the angles. Hopefully they look okay.
Right. Maybe it'll just be audio.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you so much.
And cut. Nice.
That was fun.
Oh, it was fun.
Recording stopped.